right, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting with solving equations today. Okay, we're looking at solving one-step equations, and then we're going to look at 3.2 and 3.3. Solving one-step equations. Linear equations are equivalent equations if they have the same solution. Two operations that undo each other, such as addition and subtraction, are called inverse operations. Linear equations have exponent of no more than 1. Multiplication and division are inverse operations. Reciprocal is used to flip it. We talk about addition property of equality, that A plus C is the same thing as B plus C. If A equals B, then A minus C is the same thing as B minus C. And if A equals B, then C times A and C times B are the same thing. And the same with division. If A and B are equal to each other, both sides of the equation are equal, it doesn't matter if you subtract the same thing, add the same thing, multiply the same thing, or divide the same thing from either side. That's basically what it's saying. Okay, so let's look at a few of these. If we've got a problem such as x plus 4 equals 15. The point is, what plus 4 gives us 15? Well, the way we're going to do this is we're going to subtract 4 from each side. That's the inverse function of addition. If you're moving it across the equal sign, you do the opposite. So the opposite of addition is subtraction. What's the opposite of multiplication?
Division.
Okay. What's the opposite of subtraction? Addition. What's the opposite of division? There you go. Okay. So these cancel out. 4 plus a negative 4 is 0. So we get x equals 15 minus 4 gives us 11. Now this is an important part. You need to check your answers for tonight's homework. This is important. You have to put 11 plus 4 in here. And now you can use calculators for this, or you can use your fingers. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yes, it does equal 15. Check. You've got to show your check. It's worth some points.
15 is 15?
Yeah. 11 plus 4 gives you 15, so 15 does equal 15. Let's skip B because it's easy, but let's try 6. C. Excuse me. 6 plus m equals negative 11. We've got a negative there. So what am I going to do to get m by itself? Is 6 positive or negative?
Positive.
So what's the opposite of positive?
Negative.
Negative. So we take away 6 from both sides. These cancel and we're left with m. Now, you owe me $11 and you're borrowing 6 more. So it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You owe me $17. Now, this is the important part. Let's check. We're going to write 6 plus negative 17 equals negative 11. So if we've got negative 17, but you pay me $6, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Good. It equals negative 11. It's a negative plus a positive. Because it's positive 6 plus negative 17. Okay. Let's turn it over. I wanted to look at D, and then we'll move on to example 2. How about that? D says y minus a negative 2 equals 10. What do 2 negatives make that are next to each other? What happens there? It becomes a positive. So we get y plus 2 equals 10. So now how do I get rid of the 2? What's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. So I subtract 2 from each side, and y equals 8. Now don't forget your check. 8 minus a negative 2 equals 10. Those 2 negatives become a positive. 8, 9, 10. 10 equals 10. You have to do your check. You won't have to do it for very long, but you do have to do it at the beginning of this chapter because I want to make sure you know what you're doing. Okay. Are there any? Let's look at example 2. What do you think? Can we skip all the way down to D? You guys feel pretty comfortable with A, B, and C?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which one do you want to do from A, B, and C? Anybody? Is there one in particular? Yes. Want to try C? Okay, let's do C. Okay. So for C, I've got y plus a negative 12 equals negative 20. Okay? What's in front of the 12?
Negative.
A negative. So what's the opposite of that? Positive. So we're going to add 12 to both sides. Those cancel out, and we're left with y equals 20 minus 12 should get a negative 8. And I'm subtracting, right, because the signs are opposite. I've got negative 20. You owe me $20. You pay me back 12. You still owe me 8. Let's check our answer and make sure this is true. Negative 8 plus a negative 12 equals negative 20. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yes, it does. Okay, I'm going to move down to D then, where we're dealing with a lovely fraction. Okay, so D says K minus 3/8 equals 1/8. So this looks complicated, but it's not because the bottoms are the same. So how do I get K by itself? Yes, Tyler. You have to add 3/8 because there's a negative in front of it. So I get K equals 4/8. And what is 4/8 reduced to? 2/4. Okay? This is just a hint. You're probably going to want to put in the 4/8 instead of the 2/4. That's going to make it easier to subtract. So we're going to go 4/8 minus 3/8 equals 1/8. We know that 4 minus 3 gives us 1. So it checked out perfect. Okay, let's do some with multiplication. Let's move on to example 3. Okay. Example 3, we've got 3x equals 15. So, guys, what am I going to do to get x by itself? What's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and I get x equals 5. Then I'm going to plug it back in. 3 times 5 equals 15. I might want to stick that in my multiplication chart, make sure that's correct, or in my calculator, and I'll get 15 equals 15. Why don't you guys try B and C? Let's look at some of these division ones. Oh. Hold on one second. Let's look at some of these division ones. It should be on the back. Come on. 3.2 should be on the back of it. Okay. All right, so we're looking at some of these division ones. This. Okay, we've got E, and F. I don't know why it's E, and F, but it is. Y over 3 equals negative 7. So we've got y over 3 what are we going to do? It's division. What's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3. And what's that going to give us? What kind of 21?
Negative.
There we go. So y equals negative 21. And don't forget to check, please. We're going to say negative 21 divided by 3 equals negative 7. So negative 7 does equal negative 7. Check. Okay, let's try the next one. K over 6 equals negative 11. What am I going to do? Multiply each side times 6. K equals negative 66. Plug it back in so we can do our check. Remember, this is the right answer. This is my checking. Negative 11 equals negative 11. Check. All right.